Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Ibukun. Today I want to talk about due diligence. A lot of people get into so much trouble because they don't do the necessary background checks that they have to ensure that that decision is not going to fail. I mean, you want to buy something, you want to travel somewhere, you want to marry, you want to buy a company, start a company, go into business with someone. Whatever it is, you want to even join a church, a mosque, you want to join an association. Have you looked into their activities? Are you sure that you actually want to get into bed with this person, organization, or activity? Let's talk about that in today's video. In the general sense of the word, it means that you should take reasonable care or pay reasonable attention to the decision you want to make, to ensure that you conduct an investigation, an audit, or whatever it is, to ensure you have all the facts before you. How does that affect your daily activities? So you want to get into a contract, for example. It's important that you get a professional, whether it's a financial professional or a legal professional, to do some digging, to find out details. I find that a lot of people, get into some transactions and then midway they're like, oh my god, I did not know that. Well, you should, before you had signed that contract or agreed to terms and conditions, you actually should have conducted some search. Okay, so for example, in a land transaction, what your legal practitioner would do is go to the land registry, conduct a search and say who actually owns this property. Is it encumbered? Is it, is there a mortgage on it? Is it owned by the federal government? Is it where it is said it is? Who are the owners? Details like that. But a lot of people are like, they offered me this land, I'm gonna buy it, I got scammed. You got scammed because you did not know that you should have done more than believe the word of the person that made that offer to you. We hear a lot of scamming going on right now, so I feel like I need to inform you that you need to do a due diligence check. Okay, it's called due diligence in most spheres, so legal sphere, financial sphere, even in the general public. It's just means that you are being careful not to do something that would make you commit an offense and also get you into financial trouble. In what situation would you need to conduct a due diligence? Okay, I would say every situation. That's just me. Okay, when I say every situation, I mean you meet someone, you need to know who they are. Some level of investigation or questioning is relevant for you to get to know that person. Okay, so always ask questions, always dig deeper than the surface. It's going to save you a lot of heartache. You want to rent a property, don't just believe that it was up on a blog or up on a website and you believe that it's up for rent. A lot of people have been scammed that way. There are a lot of investment openings that I see around and people just put their money in without really saying, what's the history of this company? Is it registered? Was it registered for this? Have they successfully conducted business for this amount of years? Do they have the history to back up what they're saying they can give me? Most especially if you want to get into a contract, you want to buy a property, please do your due diligence. Okay, get a financial advisor, get your lawyer to look into that transaction. Get a report. I'm going to leave a link in the description box of a CAC page that allows you to conduct search on registered companies. So if it's a business name, limited, PLC, incorporated trustee, that's an NGO, just type in the name. It will pop up if it's registered, and if it doesn't pop up, it's not registered. So I just gave you one tip. Don't say I didn't ever do anything for you. Okay. So depending on the aspect or area that you're involved in, your due diligence requirements would vary. For property, I talked about earlier, you're going to have to do a search, you're going to ask for legal papers to show ownership. If you want to get into a contract, what are the things to ask? Now, you should ask for a history of the company. What is your background? Have you done this kind of projects before? Was it successful? If they don't have a history, what are their projections? You should ask for those things. That's why people have prospectus. That's why people have business plans. Okay, so the ideas for those documents. Ask. Make sure that you ask. Make sure that you sign your contract. Even in your contract, ask questions. Oh, am I going to get my money in 6 months? If I don't get it in 6 months, what are the alternatives? Do you have a loan you're financing? There's so many aspects, to touch depending on what it is that particular transaction is about. For mergers and acquisitions, people usually ask for financial records, your general meetings, your tax history, your liabilities, that's if you have any loan you're servicing, your assets, what the projections are for that year, what your previous turnover was, contracts you're involved in, your director's details, and just things that will give you a full picture of how that business is being operated. If you're going to be looking into a contract, for example, please always ask for the person's history. So if someone says, I want you to invest ₦1 million with me, who has invested ₦1 million with you prior? I mean, for startups, you might say, I don't have a history, I just have projections. Give me your projections and then sign an agreement. It doesn't always mean that you have to have everything figured out. It just means that you have a clearer picture and a full picture. As I've said, the most important thing is for you to know exactly what the facts are. And you can't know everything all the time because certain information may not be open to you until you actually get into the situation. But you also need to ensure that you did everything necessary to get the facts necessary. Okay, you don't want to go into a business with someone and then find out that they have liabilities that you did not know of because you did not ask or you did not look into their books. What are the things that the person that is going to conduct a due diligence would do? One of the things is conduct a search either at CAC, Lands Registry, SEC, whatever regulatory body that is, NAFDAC, for example. Are they registered? Do they have the license? Do they have a mining license? Or is it for aviation? Do they have a license in that field? So there are places that you can actually go to the regulatory body and get information to confirm what the person has told you. But there are also certain things that you request from that person transacting with, or the company you're transacting with directly. So don't be afraid to ask questions. That's the point of due diligence. Ask questions, make your findings, dig really deep. You're going to need a professional to do this. There are people who this is what they do every time they get information. They say, oh, I have no liabilities. There are people who can find out for you if this person is actually lying. They can go to banks and find information. Sometimes you have to go through routes that are unconventional, and that's why you need a professional. So you can do yours by asking the questions and requesting documents. So if you want to buy property, request for the C of O. If you say, oh, it's not registered yet, request for the survey. If it's not registered yet, at least confirm the title is of the person that needs to sell it. What I would do for you as a lawyer is help you ensure that you're getting into a legal business, the business is well set up and all that. But in the general sense, you can also do due diligence on almost anything. I mean, due diligence is in everything that we do. It's in everyday life. You're being careful to understand the law. For example, before you get into a business, so you want to buy a property, have you done the environmental impact assessment? Is that area even for sale? There's so many things that I can raise as things you should be thinking about. Oh, I'm buying this property. Oh, can I use it for commercial purposes? In Lagos State, there are places that are regulated such that you can't go above two-story building. But guess what? You already bought the property without knowing that you can't go above one extra story. So there are questions to be asked. Always involve a professional. I know that not a lot of Nigerians think about lawyers until there's quite a problem, but try to inculcate into your general decision making professionals that can help you make better decisions and save you a lot of headache along the way. One thing I want to say is that this is a process that can be very expensive and time consuming, because imagine if you're looking into the books of a company. That's a lot of time. Imagine if you're conducting a search in another state on a property, or you're trying to look into your vendor. There will be a lot of back and forth, or you want to, whatever transaction it is that you are trying to get facts and investigate and audit, just note that it's going to be time consuming, it's going to be resource consuming, and so you need to be dedicated to ensuring that you have all the facts. I understand that this might also be one of the reasons that a lot of people don't conduct due diligence before getting into transactions, but please don't be that person that is not well versed with all the facts. You need to have all the facts before getting into a transaction or before making a big decision or a big move. But what I see a lot is that most people think about due diligence after the fact. So now that there's a litigation case going on, then your lawyer has to do some due diligence and say, oh, they really were not a credible business, or they actually had liabilities you did not know about. So please be aware and do conduct due diligence. Investigate, audit, ask questions, ensure you have all the facts. Thank you for watching this video. If you found the information useful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to share the video, and I'll see you in my next video.